Imagine you're standing in a store holding a beautiful, expensive leather jacket. It costs $650. You reach into your pocket and pull out a thick stack of currency, carefully counting out six $100 bills and a crisp $50. One, two, three, four, five, six, and the 50. As you hand that physical paper over to the cashier, you feel a genuine, undeniable twinge of discomfort in your solar plexus. Your internal monologue isn't just whispering, it's shouting. It says, wait a minute, this is a massive chunk of your paycheck. This represents 40 hours of sitting at your desk, or 2 weeks of premium fuel and high-end groceries. You pause. Your hand hovers over the counter. You might even decide to hang the jacket back on the rack and walk away. This resistance is real. It is visceral. It is a protective instinct rooted in the physical reality of loss. Now, let's reimagine the exact same scenario. Same boutique, same high-quality leather, same $650 price tag. But this time, you don't reach for paper. You pull out a sleek titanium credit card, or perhaps you just double-click the side button on your smartphone. You hover your device over the terminal. A soft melodic bing rings out. Approved. In that moment, you feel absolutely nothing. There's no stomach-turning hesitation, no mental sirens, and no calculation of how many hours of your life this jacket cost you. You walk out into the sunlight with a new bag and a smile on your face. Yet, from a purely mathematical standpoint, the damage to your net worth is identical. You are $650 poorer in both versions of reality. The only thing that changed was the medium of exchange. This psychological disconnect is known as the pain of pain, and it is arguably the most vital concept to grasp if you want to understand why modern society is drowning in a sea of high-interest debt. We have built a world that has systematically erased every ounce of friction from the act of spending. We have transformed money from a tangible, limited resource that we can feel and see into an abstract, invisible digital pulse. By doing so, we have effectively anesthetized our natural financial defense mechanisms. We have numbed ourselves to the reality of cost until the bill arrives at the end of the month, and by then, the pain is too late to prevent the damage. My name is Silas, and I spend an obsessive amount of time deconstructing the psychological traps that financial institutions, casinos, and global tech empires use to separate you from your wealth without you even noticing it's gone. If you are someone who feels a wave of nausea every time you finally muster the courage to open your credit card app at the end of the month, because you truly cannot fathom how those $20 and $30 purchases added up to thousands, or if you've noticed that your spending habits go completely off the rails when you're using a digital wallet compared to a physical one, you need to hear what I have to say. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like if you're ready to reclaim control over your financial brain. Today, we are going to peel back the curtain on the behavioral economics of frictionless spending. We're going to explore why casinos insist on plastic chips, why Silicon Valley is obsessed with virtual gems and coins, and how our increasingly cashless society is actually a meticulously designed trap intended to maximize your consumption by silencing your awareness. Let's look at the neuroscience of what happens inside your skull when you part with your money. Neuroscientists using fMRI technology have made a startling discovery. The act of paying for something activates the same neural pathways associated with actual physical pain. Specifically, the insula, the part of the brain that processes negative emotions, disgust, and bodily discomfort, lights up when we see money leaving our possession. This isn't just a figure of speech. Spending money literally hurts your brain. From an evolutionary perspective, this makes perfect sense. Your ancestors lived in a world of extreme scarcity. Resources like food, tools, and pelts were the difference between life and death. Parting with them triggered a survival-based pain response to ensure that every trade was calculated and necessary. If a hunter-gatherer gave away his best spear, he felt a loss that prompted him to evaluate if what he got in return was truly worth the risk. However, in our modern era, the intensity of this neurological pain isn't dictated by the actual value of the loss. Instead, it is dictated by the salience of the transaction. Salience is simply how visible, tangible, and immediate the payment feels to your senses. Physical cash is the king of salience. You have to physically reach into a wallet, count the bills, feel the texture of the paper, and watch the thickness of your stack diminish. You are witnessing a resource disappear in real time. Because the salience is high, the pain response in the insula is sharp and effective. It acts as a natural brake on your impulses. But look at what happens when we add layers of abstraction. A credit card replaces the loss of paper with the temporary loan of plastic. You give the card away, but you get it right back. The money doesn't leave your hand, a promise to pay later leaves your mind. A famous study out of Carnegie Mellon and MIT revealed that participants were willing to bid up to 92% more for the exact same items, in this case, sports tickets, when they were told they could pay with a card instead of cash. The card effectively acted as a psychological anesthetic, numbing the bid price because the pain of paying was deferred to a future date. Digital wallets like Apple Pay and Google Pay take this abstraction to its logical extreme. You don't even have to find a card in your purse. You simply perform a seamless gesture with your wrist. The transaction is so fast and so frictionless that it barely registers as a financial decision at all. Every time we remove a step of friction, we are removing a layer of pain. And every time we remove a layer of pain, we are disabling the emergency brake that keeps our spending in check. This isn't a new discovery. It's a strategy that has been the bedrock of the gambling industry for over a century. Think about why a casino would never allow you to walk up to a blackjack table and bet with $100 bills. They want those bills out of your sight the moment you walk into the door. They want you to trade your real money for colorful plastic discs. Chips are the ultimate psychological lubricant. They look like toys, they feel like game pieces. They stack and click in a way that is satisfying rather than stressful. When you push a stack of red chips towards a dealer, your brain doesn't see $500 of labor, it sees a few pieces of plastic. A study published in the Journal of Behavioral Decision-Making confirmed that people are significantly more likely to take high-risk gambles with tokens than with the cash those tokens represent. By converting your wealth into an abstract token, the casino has successfully bypassed your insula. They have turned a serious financial risk into a game. And now, the digital economy has taken this casino blueprint and integrated it into the palms of our hands, and more importantly, into the hands of our children. Think about the rise of virtual currencies in video games, V-Bucks, Robux, Gems, or FIFA points. These are simply digital chips designed for the next generation of consumers. Parents link their credit cards to an account, the real money is converted into a fictional number, and the child then spends that fictional number on skins or crates without any sensation of a financial event. We are effectively training a generation of humans to view spending as a series of button presses rather than a series of life-altering decisions. A report from market research Intel estimated that in-game microtransactions alone have become a $75 billion global industry. This is the upgrade illusion and the pain of paying working in perfect harmony. When the currency doesn't look like money, your brain doesn't treat it like money. But we adults are just as susceptible. Think about the subscription vampire effect. Services like Netflix, Spotify, or your gym membership rely on the fact that once the initial friction of sign-up is over, the monthly payment becomes invisible. Because it's automated and digital, it never triggers that neurological pain response. You could be paying for 3 different streaming services you haven't watched in 6 months, but because you never have to count out the bills to pay for them, the loss remains abstract and ignored. Let's look at the actual math of what this psychological anesthesia is costing you. Behavioral research across various sectors suggests that payment abstraction causes the average consumer to spend between 12 and 20% more than they would if they were restricted to cash. Let's run the numbers on a typical middle-class household earning $85,000 a year. After taxes and housing, let's say they spend $40,000 on various discretionary items: food, entertainment, clothing, and gadgets. If we apply a conservative 18% abstraction tax to that spending, that household is wasting $7,200 every single year on things they wouldn't have bought if the pain of paying was present. Over a 25-year career, that is $180,000 of pure waste. If you had invested that extra money into a basic index fund, you'd be looking at over $550,000 by the time you retired. That is the price of convenience. That is what the banks and tech companies are harvesting from your lack of friction. Amazon famously patented the one-click checkout button because they knew that every extra click was a moment where the pain of paying might kick in. They wanted to close the gap between your desire and the transaction so fast that your logic centers never had a chance to wake up. Services like Afterpay and Klarna use the same trick by splitting a $400 purchase into four painless $100 payments. They aren't helping you afford things. They are reducing the salience of the total cost, so you'll buy things you can't actually afford. So, how do we fight back? How do we resensitize our brains in a world that wants us numb? We have to bring the friction back. If you feel like your finances are a black box, I challenge you to try the cash envelope method for just 30 days. Focus on your most impulsive categories: dining out, groceries, and entertainment. At the start of each week, go to a physical ATM and withdraw your budget in cash. Put it in an envelope, leave your cards at home. The first time you stand at a bar and have to physically peel away two $20 bills for a round of drinks, you will feel the burn. You will hesitate. You will look at the remaining bills in your envelope, and suddenly that second round of drinks doesn't look as appealing. You aren't being cheap. You are finally letting your brain's natural immune system do its job. There is no such thing as an impulse buy when you can feel the cash leaving your palm. If carrying cash is truly impossible for your lifestyle, you need to use the notification hack. Go into your banking app and enable instant push notifications for every single cent spent on your cards. Every time you tap your phone or swipe your phone should immediately buzz with the message, "You just spent $74.50 at Target." This creates an artificial moment of salience. It forces you to look at the number. It recouples the action with the consequence. It's a microdose of financial pain that breaks the dopamine loop. For online shopping, you need to implement the manual checkout rule. Delete your Save's credit card information from your browser, from Amazon, and from your food delivery apps. Force yourself to get up, walk to wherever your wallet is, and manually type in all 16 digits every time you want to buy something. That 90 seconds of effort is often all it takes to break the dopamine loop. You'll find yourself halfway to your wallet, you'll stop, and you'll realize, I don't actually need this gadget, I'm just bored. Use your own laziness as a defense against your spending. We have to realize that the move toward a cashless society is always marketed as a move toward efficiency and progress. But we have to ask, efficient for whom? The faster money moves, the faster it moves away from you. The easier it is to spend, the more of it you will spend. Look at how the ultra-wealthy manage their fortunes. They don't keep their wealth in a liquid checking account with a debit card attached. They keep their wealth in illiquid assets, real estate, private businesses, gold, or locked brokerage accounts. They intentionally create friction between themselves and their money. They make it hard to spend their wealth so that it has the time to grow. Meanwhile, the poor and middle class are given tools of maximum liquidity and zero friction, ensuring that every dollar they earn can be instantly converted into consumer goods the moment a craving hits. Pain is a biological signal designed to keep you safe. If you accidentally touch a hot stove, the pain tells you to pull your hand away before you lose your skin. Financial pain is no different. It is a signal telling you that your resources are being depleted and that you need to reevaluate. By using plastic, pixels, and biometrics to numb that pain, we're effectively leaving our hands on the financial stove while our future burns down. We need to start valuing that hesitation. We need to start appreciating the twinge in our stomachs when we see a high price tag. That isn't a bad feeling. It's your brain's survival mechanism trying to protect your freedom. So here is your homework for the next 7 days. Every time you go to pay for something, whether it's a cup of coffee or a new pair of shoes, pause for 5 seconds. In your mind, visualize the physical bills leaving your hand. Think about how many hours you had to sit in traffic or deal with a difficult boss to earn those specific dollars. Bring the salience back. Make the money real again. The goal isn't to stop spending money entirely. The goal is to make every transaction meaningful. When we remove the friction, we remove the meaning, and we turn our hard-earned lives into a series of invisible beeps and taps. If this video made you realize why your seamless lifestyle is actually a financial trap, leave a comment below. I want to know what your biggest frictionless spending habit is. Are you going to try the cash challenge? Let's bring the friction back together. I've spent way too much time thinking about the psychology of your wallet, so you don't have to. If you found this valuable, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the math and mindsets that build real wealth. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.